and I fall in love again. And I fall in love.
Hey guys, listen, once again, we are here in the beautiful LA.
Yes.
And we are doing our special edition of Indie Talks. Of course, I am your host, Aisha Lewis Redway.
And it's your girl, Danielle Meeks.
And when I tell you it don't get no realer, it definitely don't get no
It don't.
realer. Okay? We are sitting here with the Grammy awarded singer-songwriter, Norelle.
Thank you.
First of all, let's get into this look.
Yes.
You looking beautiful.
Thank you.
Sis, I mean from head to toe.
I appreciate that.
Okay,
Thank you so
listen,
much.
she ain't playing no games, all right? So let's jump right into it. I know originally you're from Ohio,
Yes, ma'am.
and you know you have a wonderful catalog of music. First off, how did you feel like you just got it started? I know there's some family inspiration and things. So kind of give us your background, your story.
So, I've been singing since I was a child, like 5 years old. I remember being in preschool singing Smooth Operator by Sade, because that's what my mom listened to. Absolutely. So, I mean, you know, when you're a kid, you just kind of like, you're a sponge. So whatever you hear, that's what you regurgitate out. So that's what my mom was listening to. So that's what I was walking around singing.
Saturday morning cleanup.
Yeah,
yes.
absolutely. Yeah, you already know. So I just like naturally had an affinity for singing, performing. Like my mom had this apartment that I'll never forget. It's like, to this day, I'm almost 40, and that's like, oh, I really love that apartment. Like, it's just like, maybe because that's where I feel like I really start to come into myself. So tying that into music, we had these hardwood floors. And so back in the day, you know, the VHS tapes, it was Black Panther by Janet Jackson and Paula Abdul. They had like, you know, their performance VHS tapes. And so I would watch them all day and learn all of the moves. And I like still have these scars on my knees from sliding across the floors, trying to dance like, yeah, you know, the little burn,
yes.
little, yeah.
We all have that one
Exactly.
scar.
Yes, exactly. So I still have the scar on my knee, and like that's just kind of like, you know, like that's like a little reminder of like, hey, like you have literally always had this dream. You were a little girl, 5 years old, singing in preschool, dancing around your mom's apartment, you know, just like really looking up to these really amazing female artists and not really being old enough to really have a true understanding of what I was doing, but it just came so natural to me and I was drawn to it. So like, that's really just like the beginning of it. It was like a natural affinity and love for music, art, dancing, performing, and I just gravitated towards it, and nobody had to like force me to do the things. I was just a natural studier, and I wanted to emulate what I saw, and they were just like these really huge, you know, like out of touch, so to speak, artists or just figures at that time in my life. I was a kid, and I just wanted to be like them. So like that's just kind of the start, and I've been chasing this dream ever since.
And originally you're from Cleveland. So
Yes.
talk about how did you end up in LA and what made you come out to LA versus going to like another city like New York or Atlanta that is also known for music.
Right. So, I did originally get my start being based in Cleveland, Ohio. I did not have to move out of Ohio, thankfully, to get my start in the industry. Yeah, it was like a huge blessing. That story is really long, but how it happened really is just like a testament of everything happening for a reason, and kind of just like what is meant for you is for you, and things just kind of being in alignment. Short story, I try to make a long story short, but I was singing background for an artist that was based in Cleveland. Oh, thank you. I was singing, and I want to look at both of y'all, but I'm in the middle. So I was singing background for an artist based out of Cleveland, Ohio. Her name is Kanya Doss. That's how I kind of like got my start as a background vocalist. And she had a show in New York. I gotta rewind real quick. I was doing demos for a friend of mine in Cleveland. They moved to Atlanta, you know, to kind of like pursue their music career. They started playing the songs that we worked, and they were, and whoever heard it was like, oh, who was that singing? He was like, that's my homegirl from Cleveland, yada, yada, yada. So the guy who was interested in my voice, his name is Young World. He just so happened to be the music director for Blackstreet and Guy at the time. They were on tour. He called my parents, super respectful, because I was still in high school. He was like, hey, I really love your daughter's voice. I would love to work with her. I'm on tour. We'll be in Cleveland. I would like to invite you guys to the show. So my family and I went to the show, and in the band, the keyboard player, there was a guy named Man Man. And Man Man and I, we were young, but it was like, oh, you cute, you cute. This was so long ago. I'm married, he's married, so it ain't even like that. But, you know, that may have
just the connection.
It was the connection. That may have been the catalyst to connect us. Yes. But ultimately, he ended up being the music director for John Legend. And so he and I built a friendship. You know, he, found out that I sang and whatever. And when they had auditions, he told me about the auditions. So rewind. Kanye just so happened to have a show in Baltimore, I think, the same weekend of the auditions. I'm a broke college student. I had no money. So it was like, how am I going to get to New York to these auditions? She just so happened I have a show. I was like, oh my God, it's perfect. And then she ended up driving to New York after the show. And I was like, can I ride with you to New York after the show? She was like, of course. Like, they dropped me off at a bus stop, whatever. I had a friend who lived in Brooklyn, stayed at her house, went to audition the next day, and I got the gig. So that is how that happened. It's just like everything was kind of just like, it just worked out. You know what I'm saying? But I also was prepared for the opportunity, and I also was just kind of willing to do whatever was necessary to get whatever needed to be done. You know what I'm saying? So that is how that happened. So with me already having that gig being based in Cleveland, I didn't have to move. And so from there, I just connected with people, met with people. And so I traveled back and forth from Cleveland to wherever for a really long time. Mm-hmm. But once I started, in 2014, I started to get more into television stuff, like American Idol, the award shows, being a session singer and stuff like that. And so at that time, it was like, I feel like I need to make the transition, because if I'm here, because you can get a phone call and be like, yo, can you be at the studio at 3:00? You know what I'm saying? Right. And so once that came into play, I was like, all right, as I was transitioning out of solely just doing touring and stuff like that, I just wanted more opportunity, so it made sense for me to be here.
That's amazing, and I mean, it's a
long story short.
First of all, it's amazing because, like Danielle said, just the alignment. Absolutely. And how everything happens. Mm-hmm. It was just your time. It was just your time to be able to do everything. Yeah. And first of all, we do want to extend a congratulations to you for being a Grammy awarded singer songwriter.
I appreciate
put
that.
some respect on the name. Okay,
I appreciate that.
Listen,
thank you so much.
All right. And I want to kind of go into your new single again.
Yes.
First again. Listen,
yes, that's exactly how I go too.
So, first of all, let's talk about some of the credits on here. So, it's produced by the duo. So, Adam Blackstone and Stevie Mackey.
Yes.
First of all, and of course, the incredible vocalist here.
Thank you.
So talk about creating process of putting together the lyrics and really coming together and working with this team. Mm-hmm. How did the collaboration come about? That's one thing. And then what inspired the influence in regards to this creative direction for this single again?
So Adam Blackstone and I are really good friends. We've been friends for over a decade now. We've been working together, super closely. So, he does everything. So he knew that I was, trying to work on putting out my own music in conjunction with me being on tour. He was like, hey, I have these beats. So he sent me a package of a folder of music. I had maybe, I don't know, however many beats in it. So I would just go through the folder and listen to see what grabbed me. And this track in particular grabbed me almost instantaneously. And I just loved it so much. It took me no time to write the music. I would really love to collaborate with more writers, but for the most part, I kind of just write my music by myself, because I'm very, things have to be organic and authentic to me, and it has to be a real thing. I don't do the best with singing and performing other people's thoughts and feelings and things. If it's not a real experience for me, it's hard to connect to it. You know what I'm saying? And I like whatever emotion I have in my music for it to be a real thing for me.
In regards to the music, just
absolutely.
Not a situation, but the experience.
Absolutely. Yes. So I'll never forget, I left a hair appointment, getting my hair braided, and I was like, I really want to write this song. So I just put the track on and I let it play, and the melody came to me right away. So I recorded the melody so I wouldn't forget. So when I got home, well, no, that's not true. Once I had the melody, I just started thinking like, how does this make me feel? How does this beat make me feel? Or like, or what am I feeling? I'm a lover of love, so everything I write and sing about will have some sort of connection to love and relationships. Like, it's just that's what I do. So I was like, how can I explain a really beautiful and intense, strong love experience and connection? So that's why the first line is like moving through me like a hurricane, because it's like when things are fresh and new and fun and exciting, it's like and so like I just kind of like built off of that concept. And so, but it came super easy to me because the music was the production was so inspiring.
It's so experienced, and you it's nothing. Okay?
I get writer's block. Like, first of all, I wrote this song literally a year ago. Okay. I recorded it on my laptop in my hotel room in Phoenix when we were preparing for the Super Bowl last year. So I sat on it for a whole year because I was like, oh, maybe I want to change this. Maybe I want to change that. Like, so I appreciate the compliment, but I'm a perfectionist, and sometimes, ideas don't flow as freely as I would like to. But with this one, it did, so which is why it's like really special to me. I love the song so much.
And it's just perfect. I love the melodics. I love just the tone, the energy behind it. So listen, y'all better go ahead and get that music. Okay, start playing. It's all on DSPs. Okay,
yes.
All on it. There you go. Now, being that you said you were a perfectionist, how do you know when like you have a finished product? Like, how do you know, okay, I'm not going to change this, or you know what, I'm just done, I'm going to leave it as is?
That part. There is like, nothing is ever complete. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to pick something apart and redo it 1,000,001 times, you can. But what I'm finding is 10 times out of 10, if I'm like going through different takes when I'm recording, I always go back to the first one, because the first one is like the most instinctual. You're not really like overthinking, because when you start overthinking, that's when you take you kind of take the connectivity out of it. I feel like people can feel when you're being real and when you're not. So to your question, I don't know. It's just a decision. Like, all right, I'm either going to just leave this alone, let it be what it's going to be, which is what I ultimately decided for this. It was like, you recorded this song a year ago, put this song out. Like, what are you waiting for? Just put this song out. And so that's why I was like, I'm just going to put this song out. You know what I'm saying? So that's what happened with this.
Like the perfect time?
I didn't plan the time out. Like, it kind of just happened. Like, I knew I wanted to release music at the top of the year. I want to be more disciplined in that aspect. As an artist, we could be super just like floaty and ethereal and just like, oh, I'm just going with the wind. I was like, okay, no, like, let's try to create some sort of structure and like be committed to that. So I just had a rollout, so to speak. I released my, Sade cover, like a tattoo, on her birthday, and I knew I wanted to follow up with my single shortly after that. So it was just like, oh, here's a calendar, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, okay, I'll do that. Like, it really was not, there was nothing deep to it, you know what I'm saying? It was just, and I'm doing everything on my own, so it's kind of just like whatever makes the most sense for me, so yeah.
Thank you, darling. And of course, being that this is Grammy weekend, I know there's a lot of festivities happen, a lot of events. I know you're doing some things. Yeah. Not only just for Grammy, we're talking about the Super Bowl weekend.
Yes.
Kind of talk about some of those things that you have coming. Okay.
Of course.
And then, of course, if you had to put together your own Grammy production,
okay,
who are you collaborating with?
Okay.
Oh, who do you want on stage with you?
That's easy. Okay. So I'm performing at the Clive Davis Grammy party this year with Ricky Minor and his band. And so we will be performing with a conglomerate of artists that are being honored, or just, whoever they choose to have at the party, because this is like it's a music party.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's super exciting. It's my second year doing it, so I'm happy to be back. And then right after the Grammys, I'm flying to Vegas to perform with Leon Bridges at the Cosmopolitan. So it's going to be super cool. It's like Grammy week and then jumping right into Super Bowl week. It's really exciting. It's so much fun. It's all the energy.
Ready to see Usher?
I'm so ready to see Usher. I cannot wait to see this halftime show. Like, I'm a fan. It's like period. I can't wait to see what they put together, just because I've done it before. I know the process. I know what you have to do to plan the things and just like how it all comes together. So I can't wait to see what they've come up with.
And who you want on stage with you, if you did your own?
This is easy. So Victoria Monet, I'm like a stan. I love her for so many different reasons. You know, like she started being a writer. So as a Black woman, as a mother now, as, you know, a female artist and someone who has invested so much time into nurturing and being a part of other people's careers and their music, like I just feel really seen, you know, because I've been a background vocalist for a long time now, you know, so it's just like outside of her just being super talented, super beautiful and creative, like I appreciate just who she is as a person, and I just feel like we have a lot in common, and I think that we would, you know, like just do really well together.
It will definitely be a vibe on stage for that.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, we want to thank you. We're going to pass to Danielle for our last question.
Yeah. Okay. And how do you continue to reinvent yourself as an artist, and do you feel like there are some pressures that you have to deal with all the time?
There's always pressures, you know, like I'm an independent artist, and like when I say independent, I mean independent. I'm not signed to Empire. There are no distribution deals. There is none of that. Like I have a few people in my corner who really love me, who really believe in me, and who really want to help me in any way that they can, whether it's adding my song to a playlist on one of the platforms, you know what I'm saying? So like when I say I'm doing it by myself, because some people be like, oh, I'm independent, but you're signed to Empire. Like, so they're putting your shit out there. I don't have none of that. Like, this is just completely, I'm recording on my computer in hotel rooms. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and out of your pocket.
Yeah. That part, you know what I'm saying? So, you know,
it's not cheap.
There is no budget, like, which is why I need to get back to rehearsal, because that is how I pay my bills. And I don't have any qualms with doing both. I don't feel like because I'm pursuing my artistry that I can no longer show up in those spaces. Yeah. You're gonna see me in all of those spaces until I don't have to be anymore. You know what I mean? So reinventing myself, you know, like who I am as a person is a direct reflection of who I am as an artist. I don't have alter egos, and like I don't have the Beyonce and Sasha Fierces, which I think is amazing, but that's just not me. Like if it's not a real thing for me or to me, I don't know how to not just be who I am. Mm-hmm. So whatever reinventions you see, like that shit is happening in real time and like in my real life, you know, so it's just like wherever I am personally at the time, like that's kind of how I'm showing up as an artist. But in terms of obstacles, I mean, they're everywhere all the time. But I think that not adhering to the idea of being marginalized or, you know, having less advantages, like I think that is really powerful in and of itself, and just deciding what narrative you want to attach yourself to. Like how do you want to identify? I'm not going to identify as a Black woman who has to fight all the time. I don't want to do that anymore. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like whatever I want, I can have. I know I need to work at it, but the things that I desire are desiring me. And so I'm going to acquire and have all of those things. And I'm not saying that because I have never adhered to those mind frames. I have. I'm just in a different place now where I'm just making a conscious decision. I'm not connecting to that anymore, because the more I connect with that, the more I'm going to bring those experiences into my life, so that I have to show up in the way that I believe I am. So, you know, I just feel like you have to change your perspective on things, you know?
I love it. Well, first of all, we want to say thank you,
of course,
for just showing up, for just being you, giving us your creativity, your artistry. It is well needed in this sector of music. So we tip our hats off to you. So listen, guys, independent artists, all right? Norelle. Yeah, that me. The latest single, again, please make sure that you are getting the music. Please, 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 just don't stream it. Please purchase it. As she said, and as we always say, it takes a lot to be an independent artist. And we just, once again, just want to thank you for being here with us.
Thank you guys for Of course, absolutely. I appreciate both of you ladies for like wanting me to be a part of your platform. Thank you for sharing it with me. Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for listening to my music and all the things. That means a lot. So thank you so much. Of course.
So guys, we're gonna let her get out of here because she gotta get to rehearsal. I got to get. So listen, guys, thank you so much for just being in tune with us and supporting our platform. Once again, I am your host, Aisha Lewis Redway.
And your girl, Danielle Meeks.
And you already know is real music, real style, and real people. It don't get no realer than this. All right? So guys, see.
Look into